It's Hockey Night in New England, presented by Berkshire Bank, the official bank of NESN's Boston Bruins coverage. It comes your way from TD Garden in Boston, where tonight the Bruins try to find their stride at home against a Minnesota Wild team that has only lost one game in Boston in its history and is off to the best start in its franchise's rather brief heritage. And hello again, everybody. High above the ice alongside Andy Brickley with Sarah Davis at ice level. I'm Jack Edwards. Time once was that teams talked about playing in Boston as we got to weather the storm in the first period and hope that we come out of it doing well enough to hang on. But these days, even if the Bruins lead after the first period, teams are packing the suntan lotion and bringing a newspaper to the beach because it's been easy going, almost like a vacation here.
In search of a 60-minute effort, but it's more than that when you really start to peel the layers as to what's going on with Boston right now. And I guess if you talk about that full game effort, it's all about focus. It's about being mentally sharp. If you don't have that capacity, or you're not living up to that, what is required of you, Jack, it shows up in the rest of your game, and that's what we're watching.
Under Claude Julien coming into this season, the Bruins went up by 2 at any point in a game, had a .928 points percentage. Up by 2, lights out. This season, .708, a precipitous drop, and the problem has got to be in their heads.
Well, you think about how the season started, Jack. 0-3, they get outscored 16-7. They give up 3 power play goals and 10 chances, and those numbers haven't changed much when you talk about the PK. And you can rationalize what was going on with the team as far as, well, new system, new emphasis on offense, more pace, no Chara, no Seidenberg. But the game against Philadelphia, when they were in the midst of a 6-0-1 run in response to that 0-3 start on home ice, was really what has crept into the Bruins' play lately, and that is just a lead in the third period on home ice. You let that slip away. Why? Because you're not mentally sharp. You don't win the battles. You defensively loosen your own zone, and you take bad penalties, particularly in overtime. A game against the Avalanche. Again, a lead in the hockey game, 2-0. It got off to such a great start. And again, the power play was right in the middle of it because of their execution and their focus. But when you turn the puck over, how do you defend? You're expecting to make a play coming out of your own zone. Now you leave it up to your goaltender, and there's just no chance on some of these goals that have found the back of the net. That was a game against Colorado they certainly should have won. And the other night against San Jose, again, more of the same things. That lack of focus, that loose coverage in the defensive zone where you're close but not close enough. You're not committed to eliminating the play in your own zone. If you don't do that, you're not going to get the puck. You're not going to have a transition game. And again, the penalty killing, not where it needs to be, and the fact that you're taking bad penalties on top of it, not a good combination.
Minnesota has some vulnerabilities. The Bruins need to exploit them. Thomas Vanek is not one of them, though. In 57 career games against Boston, he has 63 points. The Wild and the Bees were back in the flat.
Bruins coverage, Rex Ryan responds to wild accusations that he's obsessed with the Patriots.
Plus, BC head coach Steve Addazio in studio to talk Notre Dame at Fenway Park. That's all tonight on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tonight's NESN.com starting goaltenders, Devan Dubnyk. Well, this is a guy who was a finalist for the Vezina last year, but his numbers against the Bruins I think it's safe to assume that Dubnyk hasn't played for the Wild against Boston when you look at those numbers. Jonas Gustafsson has allowed 3 or fewer goals in all 4 of his starts and has been good enough to win several of them. This is game 4 of a 5-game homestand for Boston. It wraps up with the finale against Toronto on Saturday night, which is the front half of a home-and-home set. We'll be up at Air Canada Centre on Monday. But it's all about this moment for Boston. The game is on. Rick, they got to move their legs. They got to pay attention to the puck. But so much of this game is what's inside the Bruins' heads.
Yeah, heads and hearts, really. And you're being challenged right now, as individual players, from teammate to teammate, as well as the coaching staff, to bring that A game, and it all starts with focus.
Weymouth's Charlie Coyle with about 50 friends and family in attendance tonight. Number 3 for Minnesota. Pulls it all the way to the goal line. Here comes Matt Bolesky. He's got Brett Connolly with him. Bolesky's shot goes off Christian Folan's legs. Folan spent 4 years at UMass Lowell. Nate Prosser giving chase. Patrice Bergeron trying to catch Minnesota in a change, and the puck was in Niederreiter's skates. Brad Marchand reunited with Bergeron, and Jimmy Hayes on the right wing on that line. And here's Marchand mixing it up down to the corner, way behind the play. I got to watch the puck, and meanwhile it's 2 against 1 down there.
Well, the Bruins certainly didn't like the hit on Marchand. There was no penalty called on the play. It was an awkward play that developed right around the offensive blue line for Boston in front of the Minnesota bench. And when the puck went down deep, Marchand tried to get under and get leverage and protect the puck in a battle. And he got hit pretty hard, and then Jimmy Hayes responded to it. No gloves come off, and I'm not sure how they're going to... I'm going to guess they're going to make it pretty even here, Jack, and give 2 apiece.
Ian Walsh is the referee coming over to the penalty bench. Nate Prosser made the hit. Marchand retaliates, and then Jimmy Hayes joins in the front. So Prosser's in.
Well, he sending both Hayes and Marchand to the box, and it looks like Minnesota's going to end up with a power play.
Yep.
I'm surprised by this call. I thought they'd just come out all even.
Minnesota 39, Boston 63, Boston 11, all roughing minors.
So I think it's safe to say that Jimmy Hayes got the extra because he was the 3rd man in the fray.
Well, there's your threshold. There's your threshold to call a penalty tonight, Jack. Power play stats are brought to you by EchoStore Technologies.
Minnesota 2 for 6 Tuesday at Pittsburgh after an 0 for 13 stretch on the power play in the previous 4 games. The Bruins have had terrible troubles on the penalty kill, allowing 19 power play goals in their first 17 games this season.
Well, you get a sense of the emotional level right now the Bruins are at. That response to the hit on Marchand, both players getting into the fray, and now a pretty good challenge because penalty killing has been such an issue for Boston, and it's early in a hockey game, and Minnesota, they're looking for a lead in the game.
The Wild, not the greatest starting team, but really good front runners and pretty good finishers so far. Ryan Suter will play about half the game, and it's no exaggeration. Suter's cross-ice pass, he gives it away to Krejci. Krejci has Eriksson in the middle. Krejci cuts to the slot, cannot get the shot off as Suter breaks it up, and it's 4-on-2 on the transition. Vanek gains the line to the slot. Vanek curls around, carries it on the backhand, gives to Mikko Koivu. Jason Zucker extraordinarily fast around the boards. Mikhail Granlund cannot control the puck, and Krejci cleared.
David Krejci tried that move that he scored on the other night where he has that little self-pass, fake shot, cut to the middle. Just couldn't quite get that shot away because of the pretty good back check by Minnesota. Bad turnover by Suter.
Power play brought to you by DraftKings. Jason Spurgeon to Matt Dumba. Back to Spurgeon, and now Nino Niederreiter, who came to Minnesota in the trade involving Cal Clutterbuck, and it has helped both teams as Clutterbuck has done his energy thing for the Islanders quite effectively. Just 13 seconds to go in the power play. Bergeron wraps it around. Trotman strokes the puck through the corner, and here comes Bolesky. One shot on the power play, and here comes a bid for the Bruins. Bolesky upstairs on Dubnyk, and that clattered off the face mask. Marchand to McQuaid, the bomb, and a save by Dubnyk. Krug fires away. Bergeron in a battle against Spurgeon. Spurgeon finds the puck, hits Jason Pominville. Now laterally. And the Wild break it out. They want fresh legs on the ice.
You know, Bolesky had that nice pass from Kemps Heinen in third period in the loss to San Jose and ripped one off the bar. That one, too, was labeled high, left shoulder.
Olofsson is in the game after just being called up earlier today. Did not take part in the 3-on-2s in the first rotation. And so a little bit of gamesmanship here from Mike Yeo. Chris Porter stumbles down in the corner. Spurgeon and Suter, the top pairing for the Wild. Haula gives it back. Spurgeon keeps possession with Ronaldo in his face. Suter up to Porter. He redirects it to Chara's corner. Koivu chasing the two captains after the puck here. Niederreiter gets a piece of Chara's pass. Krejci back to the corner. Chara indirect off the end boards. Colin Miller returning to action, but his pass is off a skate. Ronaldo hustles onto it, carries out to center. Eriksson bunts it down the boards past Spurgeon. Eriksson tries to center, and Suter, who is ultra efficient in his movement, takes it away. Niederreiter through the seam. Zucker screaming toward the corner. Trotman ties him up. Krejci gives Zucker a bump. Koivu to Zucker on the end boards. Zucker throws it to Niederreiter, trying to get the cycle going. He goes down to a knee, but keeps possession. Folan's drive is wide off the corner boards. Zucker gets stapled in on Seidenberg's check. Dumba, the defenseman, down to the half boards, and he wins the puck battle. Minnesota winning a lot of puck battles, even in the attacking zone early.
Yeah, Bruins, though, they're doing a good job, though, Jack, even if they don't come up with the puck. And we'd like to see Trotman win that initial battle with Zucker down low. Now you got a breakout, but when you don't, keep things to the perimeter, which they were able to do.
Dumba fans on the pass. Here's Connolly in the shot, and Dubnyk off the line. Marchand scores! Brad Marchand picking up the loose puck, wrapping it around, and feeding Dubnyk to the spot.
It's no coincidence, Jack. We just talked about keeping things to the perimeter of the defensive zone and work the puck out of your own end. Try to establish a forecheck when you get into the offensive end. And you knew Marchand was into this game emotionally with the early penalty to Jimmy Hayes. Back with Bergeron. That's got to give you a boost as well. They've had great chemistry through the years. A good read. Bergeron puts the early pressure. Marchand with the good read. When Marchand moves the puck quick and doesn't overhandle and try to beat people one-on-one, he's such a better player. And he rips that beautiful pass to Connolly, who's well positioned as the third man. Good shot. Here we go, Jack.
Bolesky squaring off and just putting a pounding to Brett Bulmer. Bulmer gets back on his skates, wants to throw, but the linesmen step in.
Just to finish a thought on that goal after Connolly lets that shot go from the high slot. Good puck pursuit by Marchand on the wraparound. And Bolesky to get caught up to game action. He's been involved right from the get-go as well. Real good effort getting the puck out of his own zone. He had a good opportunity, shot the puck, tried to sneak one short side high, had a lot on it. Dubnyk got it with the left shoulder and then drops the gloves. Real good signs of a team that is trying to come together as a team, given the challenges that have been presented and the conversations that have been had here in the last 36 hours.
5 for fighting. The Bruins goal is brought to you by Audi. The fight was brought to you by Sweet Emotion.
Minnesota penalties, number 54, Brett Holmberg.
Brett Connell to Ronaldo in the corner. Ronaldo banks it to McQuaid, turns the stick, wrists it in, and Dubnyk deflects it up and out of play.
Time of the penalties, 5 minutes 34 seconds.
Well, it's been said at the zoo, it's been said at TD Garden, don't poke the bear.
Early signs from the Bruins, not only on the scoreboard with a 1-0 lead, but their commitment to effort and that sustainability for 60 minutes. Good example, Colin Miller back in the lineup tonight. He doesn't get the initial body contact on Charlie Coyle. Keeps us moving, feet moving, gets better positioning, able to nullify that drive to the goal, and then that puck that's wrapped around the boards. And how about the effort by Bolesky? He's in a one-on-one battle with Carter. He gets body position. He, too, keeps his feet moving, gets that puck into the neutral zone, and actually gets some separation to get into the offensive zone. And we just saw him have a pretty good bout.
4 seconds after Marchand's goal. Dumba off the boards. Ryan Carter redirecting. Kampanen fumbles the initial feed. Miller to dark cross ice for Tyler Randall. He rolls the puck through the corner. Dubnyk gives it right back to Randall.
7th goal of the season.
Ronaldo to Randall, the hard backhand. And Dubnyk makes a positional save. Dubnyk's one of those gigantic goalies. 6'6", 210 pounds. And when he puts the gear on, he looks like he weighs about 310 pounds.
Well, Boston got some confidence building from that penalty kill early in the period. Well, they're going to have to do it again. Ronaldo's going to make his way to the penalty box a little bit behind the play. The Bruins find themselves shorthanded.
Ronaldo for interference at 6:35.
Now we talk about not taking bad penalties. This is kind of away from the puck, Jack, and it's a long way from your own goal. There's not a scoring chance that you're trying to prevent. You've got a 1-0 lead. You got the building into it after a fight by Bolesky. Now you put pressure on the penalty killers to come up big again.
Kyle Granlund all the way to the hash marks, gets past Bergeron, back to Suter, slides it over. Zucker's driving, a save by Gustafsson. Vanek denied on the rebound.
What we saw in the first penalty kill were a couple of good clears. Boston needs to improve in that area. They have a chance to get that puck out of their zone. It's got to get out. They did that on the first penalty kill. And they got to do a better job of in front of the net, eliminating second and third chances and allowing your goaltender to get better looks at the long-distance shots or the one-timers from the tops of the umbrella.
Koivu with Vanek to his left, Zucker along the boards, Suter and Granlund out top. Zucker dancing down the boards, angles it back to Suter, to Granlund with room, cranks it off, looking for the off-post tip by Vanek. Vanek couldn't redirect it on goal.
I saw a goal like that by the Washington Capitals last night.
More and more players are finding different ways to get those deflected pucks on goal.
Yeah, it was Williams that was parked off to the side. I think it was Niskanen that took the shot.
Suter at the red line, wrists it all the way around. Krejci bumps it back to Chara. 3 members of the Wild, 4 to the goal line. The puck up on the roof of the net, and they'll stop play.
A little street hockey. Get a little air out of that tennis ball.
Just drill a hole in it and wait for it to freeze, right?
Well, it's a nice pinch down the wall for the Bruins to try to maintain some kind of possession. You don't want to turn the puck over here, so you just try to protect it. You try to outnumber, and then all of a sudden that puck takes a funny bounce, and if Gustafsson's not paying attention, that could sneak off his back and below the crossbar and into the net.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 inches from doing just that.
Yeah, if he takes a peek out of his, peripheral, like what's going on out front of the net, and all of a sudden that puck's hitting you in the back, could easily be had a tie hockey game.
Yep. Seidenberg off the boards. Spurgeon keeps it in. Coyle, really good athlete with a long reach. Spurgeon's pass off. Bergeron sticking out through center. Spurgeon works it forward. Charlie Coyle spoons the puck down to Trotman's corner. Niederreiter on the go. Trotman doesn't play it cleanly. Coyle snatches it up in the corner. Strodman going to work. Niederreiter paying the price. Seidenberg giving him what for. Seidenberg kicks it over to Bergeron. Bergeron sprays it off glass. And when you see Seidenberg make a play with his skates like that, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, it came in a little short cross check a couple of times into the pile, and then when that puck's available, he protects it along the wall, and a good read by Bergeron to come down low.
Dumba tape to tape to Niederreiter, back into the zone with possession all the way across. Dumba picks it up on the fly after going around back of the goal. McQuaid stumbles. Niederreiter has it, feeds it right in front off Marchand's skate. Niederreiter banks the pass to Suter. One shot during the power play. It's back to 5-on-5. Dumba's one-timer and a leg save by Gustafsson. Ronaldo pulls back, fires it right to Suter. The Bruins get fresh legs on the ice.
Yeah, trying to get organized, sort it out, get that puck out of the defensive zone, make your change.
Dumba feeds it through to Erik Haula. Ryan Carter's long shot, and Gustafsson angles it to the far side. Gustav Olofsson. Here's a centering pass, and Connolly turns it over to Hayes. Hayes flips it all the way to the corner. Folin creating a little space for himself, but Krejci steals the pass up the boards to Chara. The wrist shot. Blocker saved by Dubnyk, and a long punch all the way back to Chara. Krejci on the half boards tries to stick handle around Ryan Carter. Carter takes it back the other way, and now Folin comes over to help out. The puck deflects near side, and Olofsson, just called up from Iowa earlier in the day, sends it through the corner.
Got a lot of corn there.
Yeah, as we were flying west of Colorado a few weeks ago, I looked down and I saw this big pile of yellow stuff. I thought it was just a haystack, and it ended up just being Donald Trump's hair. Think about that for a while. 1-0 Bruins mid-first. To go yesterday, the Rat, Ken Linseman, scored 18 seconds into the game, and the man from Melrose, Andy Brickley, had a hat trick and a 4-point night. 6-4 over the New Jersey Devils. Tonight's high-strength steel play brought to you by the Chevy dealers of New England.
You know, that was a heck of a week, Jack. The game before, we played Montreal.
Yeah.
We were down 2-0 with less than 5 minutes to go in regulation. And Linseman took a penalty.
And
came out of the box, and before regulation was over, we won 3-2 against Patrick Waugh.
Brilliant. Whatever happened? Ryan Suter's wrist shot. Gustafsson gets the blocker on it. Niederreiter bumps it to Zucker. Gets smacked pretty hard by Trotman. Niederreiter in the corner. Chara goes over and gives him a rub. Bergeron up the boards. Marchand laterally for Jimmy Hayes. He spreads it out and sends it softly up the boards. Marchand there first. Knocks it to the corner to space. Marchand whips to Hayes. The one-timer and a save by Dubnyk. Suter working it forward, opens a seam with that lateral movement. Here's Mikko Koivu going all the way to the corner, locks up with Marchand. Marchand snaps the puck through the far side. Nate Prosser down from the point, rattles it around. Marchand in front of the Zamboni doors, even though they use Olympia ice surfacing machines here. You know, it's like Kleenex, Xerox.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. Krejci to Vetrano. Frank Vetrano shooting every chance he gets and creating opportunities. Krug whacks it to the end boards. Krejci goes right through Granlund, takes the puck away. Now Jason Pominville chips it cross ice. Dumba, another hard pass into traffic, but tape to Vanek to get it deep. Granlund spinning against Krug. Krug jams the stick in there. Granlund tries to win the wrestling match and loses an edge, goes down. Pominville chips it ahead waist high. McQuaid just working over Vanek. A couple of forearm shivers and dropping it. Vetrano skating back, takes a whack from Pominville. Vetrano opens the seam with a good skating move. Eriksson bumps it back to McQuaid. He wires it around.
That's a smart play by a young player, Vetrano. He had no play. He skated, protected it along the wall. There was no help. Finally won the one-on-one battle. Made a nice pass. control play to Louis Erickson.
It's a good, clean kind of nasty out there. Matt Dumba just upending Louis Erickson, getting the leverage on him and flipping him behind the Minnesota goal. Charlie Coyle stick handling move against Colin Miller, and Seidenberg reaches forward to poke the puck away. Connolly in transition. Ronaldo pulling it wide against Gustafsson. Turns the corner, rather. Olofsson, pardon me, got to get my Swedes straightened out. And here comes Jordan Schrader. Schrader closes the shot off. Gustafsson got the rebound he desired, but now it's Spooner one-on-one against Sutter. And Colin Miller joins the rush. Spooner rings the post on the stick side of Dubnyk.
Well, it's good defensive layers, Jack. Good stick position on the back check. Good stick position by the defense. And then Spooner with good speed, but Colin Miller, he's healthy. That was an explosive move to get up the ice to create the 2-on-1, and Spooner did the right thing. Kept it right off that left hip in a shooting position, and he he improved his angle as he crossed the blue line. Got a good look at that far side.
Sutter picks off Krug's long pass in the neutral zone. Krug turns the corner with Zucker on his back. Krug lobs it off glass. Kampainen caves in Koivu, and the puck deflects into the Boston bench. The Bruins are bringing it in the first period once again.
Yeah, the word I was looking for is subtly improve his angle. Here's a look at Vetrano. This is a young player trying to establish us in the NHL, and a move like that, coaches take notice of it. I have no play. I'm the left wing. I'm all the way in my own zone. There's nobody up there. I can't make that just chip up the wall and give the puck away, spin off, make a play. There's the good defense, turning defense into offense. Spooner with his head up. He's looking for Colin Miller, frees the defenseman. Gets a real good look at Dubnyk, beats him stick side, but catches the post.
Last 5 games, Frank Vetrano has more shots on goal than the other 3 left wings combined.
Yeah, and that says something for sure. You know, that he's around the puck and he's looking to get a shot, and maybe you could take a handful of those shots and say, well, you know, how meaningful were they? And you want to say, well, who's getting the scoring chances, and what are they doing with their scoring chances? Are they hitting the net? You know, whatever it might be. But just the fact that he's around the puck and getting shots and looking to shoot the puck relative to the other guys should take note of that.
Hollow right over the spoke B in center ice. A very reachable pass to Bulmer, who fires it into Gustafsson. Ronaldo trying to chip past Dumba. Dumba's had a pretty strong first period. He's been involved in a couple of body checks. He's made some beautiful passes, even through traffic, tape to tape. Matt Dumba, just 21 years old. It's kind of a sleeper in Western Canada. They're pretty happy they found him. Ended up drafting him number 7 overall. He's playing high school hockey in Western Canada before he ended up playing junior. Trotman off Chara's blade. Granlund. Folan cross ice. Vanek looking for a seam, but that's off Bergeron's stick. The Bruins doing a good job against a possession-oriented team. Here's Hayes to Marchand to Bergeron. Marchand can't get the backhand through Folan right in front. Good stick position by Vanek. Tips it away from Bergeron as he was loading up for the one-timer. Marchand banks it to Trotman. He drives it into the pile just wide of the goal, and that might have stung Folan. The Bruins buzzing around the nest here. Marchand to Bergeron, shows forehand, drags it backhand, slides it back to the boards. The zone time mounting for the Bees. Chara jumps down. Pominville doesn't want to challenge that. The puck gets underneath Bergeron's blade, and Olofsson will skate it out.
No, that line's been excellent this entire period, and Marchand's been the best player on that line.
Koivu to Niederreiter, the shot saved by Gustafsson. It's still loose, and finally he gloves it as Zucker pokes at the loose puck. 4:40 to go in the first. The Bruins have been strong in the first period all season long. It's for Massachusetts drivers.
When you draw up what you want to do on a forecheck, it looks something like this. Patrice Bergeron, he's the first man. He takes away that D-to-D pass. He forces the turnover behind the net. They're trying to go D-to-D. And when the pass comes to Spurgeon, he just kind of fans on it. But that second man is Brad Marchand. He reacts to where that puck is going to go. That turnover. And Brett Connolly wisely has the third man. He starts on the strong side, Jack, on the puck side. And then the minute that puck gets over on the Marchand side, he slides into that high slot as the third man. He's the most dangerous guy. And it's a great quick pass by Marchand to Connolly. And then Marchand tracks the puck down for a wraparound.
Well, as we said before the game, Minnesota has some vulnerabilities, and the Bruins are exploiting one of them right now. Because of the first period goal the Bruins have scored, they are tied for the league lead in first period goals scored. And because of the goal that Minnesota has allowed, the Wild is tied for last place in the NHL in first period goals allowed. Now, the Bruins would dearly love to build on that lead before the second period because Minnesota gets better as the game goes on. This is a pretty balanced team.
Yeah, and they're very comfortable in one-goal games.
Yep.
So extend the lead. You're exactly right.
Torrey Krug was spaced, the long indirect pass looking for Vetrano, and Suter wins the race by about a half a step.
Hurling, the world's fastest field sport, is returning to Fenway Park for the first time in 60 years. Watch live as Galway takes on Dublin in the Hurling Classic this Sunday afternoon at 1. Presented by AIG. Bring on tomorrow.
If you didn't know what hurling was and you just stumbled upon it, 15 aside, you know, if a guy gets hurt, they just carry him off, you play shorthanded, you would say, this game was invented by the Irish. That is going to be not only an unbelievable athletic event, but one of the greatest parties in the world, and unfortunately, we're going to be flying at the time.
I'm sure you could take a shot of the crowd and say this game was invented by the Irish.
Exactly. That should be an awesome, awesome time at Fenway. Zucker slips it past Suter, who's jumping up on the rush. Here's Niederreiter looking over his shoulder, and Krug puts the stick to him. Zucker on the end boards. Vetrano comes away from the Zucker-McQuaid pile. Eriksson at the hash marks in the defensive zone, nudges to McQuaid. It's underneath Krug's stick, around for Vetrano. He tries to shield the puck, but Spurgeon jumps up and rides the dasher. Zucker drops the shoulder and gets underneath McQuaid. Here's Niederreiter back to Suter. Suter's wrist shot sails off Eriksson. Up and out of play with 3:45 to go in the first.
Solid body contact. McQuaid on the receiving end, and you got to have some discipline. You know, you don't like to get hit like this. McQuaid's trying to make a play on the puck. He knows the hit's coming at the last second, but because that puck is kind of in the air, Jack, and he's trying to get that hand-eye coordination to work, you really aren't in position to brace for a hit, which is why he gets knocked down. But good discipline. Hey, good hockey hit. I can absorb that. You do take a number, though.
Zucker giving up 4 inches and 21 pounds in the exchange, but there was green light through the intersection. Matt Bolesky, who got in a tangle earlier in the game. Chara across in front of the Boston goal. Trotman digs it out, flails it off the boards. Connolly finishes the clear, but Granlund has possession. The pirouette, now a dance around Connolly. Granlund gains the line, slings it through the corner. Gustafsson showing the reach and then chips it past Granlund. Connolly backs into Vanek and goes for a tumble. Pominville bunts it to Granlund through the legs, the backhand, and Pominville right through the crease. Dumba's blast goes off Bolesky, and Karam's wide. Minnesota keeping the puck in the attacking zone as Prosser sends it deep. Dumba can't block it down inside the blue line.
Yeah, that's what Minnesota tries to do. They use their speed, their quickness, and they try to...
Granlund's driving, a save by Gustafsson.
Get that offensive zone time and just wear you down. They don't have big name guys.
Hayes through the seam to Marchand, and a glove save by Dubnyk. Colin Miller off of Schrader. Gustafsson leaving for Seidenberg, and now Miller takes it the other direction, spins away from Carter. He's in a little bit of trouble. Schrader gets angled off on Bergeron's effort. Seidenberg up and out of the zone. Coyle nudges it along the blue line. Here's Bergeron from Marchand, the backhand, and a glove stop from Dubnyk. In the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia. It is just the 17th meeting all time between these two franchises, and Minnesota is 7-1 in Boston. The only win by the Bruins coming in mid-March of 2014. Each team won the road game in this 2-game head-to-head annual series.
Yeah, and I say they don't have any big-name players. You know, they do. I mean, Parise is not in the lineup, obviously, a big-time player. Suter's a big-time player. Vanek's a big-time player, absolutely. But, you know, this isn't, you know, a team where you look at it and say, wow, we got a lot on our hands in terms of individual talent that we got a game plan for.
They do play with toughness. They play with a physical edge. They finish their checks And they are going to make some noise.
Yeah, they skate.
Yep. Jonas Kemppainen butterflies it to the corner. Olofsson up the boards to Ryan Carter from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. The Wild may just be the least Canadian team in the NHL. A lot of American players and a lot of Scandinavian players as well.
Seems logical, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Between the legend of Herb Brooks and the Scandinavian background that dominates the demographics in Minnesota, it's a pretty popular combination. Koivu, 3-on-2 over the line to Zucker. He fires and Gustafsson comes off the line to get it with his upper left arm. Pominville down the boards to Zucker. Zucker shielding from Marchand. Finds Dubin in the slot. Dubin to the boards. Koivu's long flip shot, an easy stop for Jonas Gustafsson with about 57 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, strange change it looked like by Patrice Bergeron at first blush, Jack. Bergeron's coming back. He took a look over his shoulder once and twice. Maybe he thought that puck was deeper in the offensive zone, and he comes off while Minnesota has the puck in the final minute. You very rarely see that kind of decision making from one of your leaders. And all of a sudden, Minnesota gets a pretty good chance from off the left dot.
And he was still shaking his head when we took the shot of him, saying, what was I thinking? Kyle Granlund to take the draw against Jonas Kemppainen. A couple of fins.
That makes 10.
Sawbuck. Chara taps it over to Louis Eriksson. Now we're on the wrong side of that generation gap, aren't we? Chara drags the puck to the blue line. Pominville after him. Chara spins it up. Louis Eriksson with Bolesky charging down the slot. Eriksson trying to connect with Bolesky once again, but he gets tied up with Fullen. Less than half a minute to go in the first period, and the Bruins with an attacking zone faceoff.
Well, again, the Bruins manage the puck well right around their blue line, and then they make a play through the neutral zone. Bolesky again with great legs here in the opening 20. Good net drive. It's a 3-on-3. Eriksson had the right idea. Maybe I can slide this puck hard. Bolesky can either receive it or maybe make a redirect on goal.
Kemppainen looks across the face-off dot and sees another Finn, Erik Haula, about to take the drop. 3 years at the University of Minnesota for Haula, so he's well known in the Twin Cities. The Gophers. Suter back in the goal. Prosser, the length of the ice, 20 seconds to go. Chris Porter scooting around, and Chara just thumps him into the boards. Haula, the center, trying to A-frame to get a little space against Krejci. Prosser, it's into his skates. He throws it to the boards. One last chance for the Bruins. They got to hurry. 5 seconds to go in the period. Bolesky stretches to stay onside. The quick release well wide on the glove side. Chara chops it toward goal. It's up high on Dubnyk. It would not have counted as Dubnyk takes another one off the upper body that was slightly after the beginning of the siren.
Well, what were we looking for in the opening 20, Jack? Certainly playing with the lead or getting the lead. You got that. Marchand reunited with Bergeron and Hayes on the right side. You were looking for some chemistry there. You certainly got that. And you were looking for a togetherness of a group that play with emotion, that play with smarts, that play with effort. I think they checked about every box, and they got some good penalty killing.
Yeah, Dale, a lot of good check marks for the Bruins, but it's about sustainability, and Minnesota has the best second period goal differential in the NHL. It's more than a ticket. By DraftKings. By Amica, Auto, Home, and Life Insurance. By your New England Chevy dealers. By Echo Store Technologies, your data center solutions provider. By Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. We're coming your way live from TD Garden alongside Andy Brickley with Sarah Davis at ice level. I'm Jack Edwards. It's 1-0 for the Bruins as they head to the second period, where Minnesota has been very, very strong so far this season. Force trivia question. Which former Bruins goalie is second in Minnesota Wild history with 113 wins? Visit Nesson.com/the4s for the answer. Enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Fours Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell. Jonas Gustafsson turning aside 10 shots by the Minnesota Wild in the opening period. And Brick, it's about sustainability, extending the lead, not taking silly penalties, playing with their heads and hearts.
Yeah, that's what everybody's going to be looking for here in this middle period. And you know what kind of team you have. And again, it's one of these teams, Jack, that has more wins than you on the regular season. It's a team that's in a tough division. Every point matters. Tail end of a road trip for these guys. You know, you got to expect a much better push. And they weren't bad in the first period, Minnesota, but expect a much better push from these guys. They had 2 power plays. They probably should have generated more, but Boston did a good job killing the penalty. But expect more from Minnesota and expect more from yourself if you're the Boston Bruins.
Well, a continuing theme in this first quarter of the season is how do the Bruins respond when the expected surge comes? How does the penalty kill hold up? Well, the penalty kill, as you just illustrated, held up pretty well. How resilient are the Bruins when carrying the lead? Boston 4th in number of times scoring the first goal, but 27th in points percentage after scoring first.
Yeah, and the mental toughness if things don't go your way early.
Charlie Coyle takes a shoulder from Ryan Spooner. Matt Bolesky digs it out of Coyle's skates. Feathers it back to Seidenberg. He rams it down the board. Spooner slows it down with the backhand. Ryan Suter underneath Brett Connolly. Connolly gets around him to win the puck. Bolesky has it scraped off his stick by Suter. And Carter comes into the Boston zone looking for Schrader in front. Suter, the defenseman, all the way up in the left wing corner. Back to Coyle, who rotated to the point. A hard snapshot goes over the right shoulder. Gustafsson. Connolly takes a 160-foot bounce. Can't even catch up to the puck on the frictionless ice.
Yeah, I think that surprised him because his angle wasn't the best in order to retrieve it.
And they go. Dumba feeding Schrader. Chara one hand through the corner, and Koivu sticks it back in deep. Chara slams it the other way. Now here's Marchand turning to the forehand. It goes outside the line. Dumba knocks it back in, and Marchand gets the loose puck. Right over the center circle. Fires it off the right wing boards. Goes in after it. It's off Prosser's stick. Bergeron bunts it out of the air. It gets hung up on the apron of the goal. Bergeron still digging it. Still loose. Marchand takes a whack. Niederreiter works over Marchand. Koivu has it underneath him, and finally it squirts free. Chara at the hash marks left side. Pass Marchand to Bergeron. He bunts it back to Marchand. Marchand turns as Prosser unloads on him. A lot of that tonight, both ways. Koivu up to Niederreiter. Trotman keeps it in for the moment, but here comes Zucker very fast. Turns on Chara. Chara makes the poke check, gets tripped, and the Bruins will go on the power play for the first time tonight.
Well, once again, it's the Bergeron line. It's setting the tempo for Boston. Good offensive zone time. It started with a delayed offside. Marchand kept the play going by jumping into the neutral zone. He doesn't waste any time trying to make a forced play. That puck goes deep. They start the forecheck. The tenacity around the puck. You can see every one of the Wild just trying to protect the house, get in tight close to that crease. But the Bruins get the puck down deep, and then the one-on-one. Zimmer trying to challenge Chara. Chara just too big, too wide, too much stick. And he goes to the box for a trip, and the Bruins power play has a chance to look to extend the lead.
Bruins #1 in power play goals with 19 on the season
Minnesota penalty number 16.
through their
Jason
first
Zucker.
17 games.
Time of the penalty, 1 minute 46 seconds. Zucker minor penalty for tripping at 1:46.
Torrey Krug in trouble right next to the net. Ryan Spooner to Louis Eriksson. Eriksson spins it back. Krug hustles to keep it in the zone. Here's Krejci faking the shot, taking the shot out of the pile. Spooner tries to throw it in front. Second effort does, but it slides between Krug and Krejci.
Nice hesitation by David Krejci, that right point.
Krejci, a little flip backhand. Spooner gets high sticked. Gustafsson goes to the Boston bench, and possession for Ryan Carter. It'll be 5-on-3 for the Bees.
Yeah, Krug just gives him the puck. I like that decision, Jack. I know you can make an argument either direction what you want to do, but if you want as much time as possible with the 5-on-3, go ahead and give the puck to Minnesota. There's the high stick.
Minnesota number 64,
Raylan's going to go for the high stick. David Krejci takes that pass from Krug, and the Krug hustles up. That little pump fake. You get the penalty killers out of the shooting lane, and you get the puck to goal, looking for a redirect or a second chance opportunity. But now the 5-on-3. Remember the low play that they scored on in Long Island? That opportunity may present itself.
Bergeron, Eriksson, Spooner, Krejci, and Krug. Bergeron the right shot on the left side. Spooner the left shot on the right side. Krug's bomb. Eriksson pries it loose, and Spooner wins the race to the puck. Krejci draws Holland. Krug to Bergeron. He closes the shot. Saved by Dubnyk. And the clear.
Bergeron had the little pump fake, pump pass fake. He got Dubnyk to leave that near post. Just didn't get it high enough over that right shoulder.
David Krejci gains the line, drops it to Bergeron. He spins back into space, trying to draw the Minnesota penalty killers. Spooner on Prosser's side of the ice. Krug to Krejci, the one-timer. Rebound Bergeron, 2 saves by Dubnyk. Bergeron pokes it toward the front. Spooner, or rather Eriksson, wins the puck away from Carter. Still about 20 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Bergeron fakes the shot low for Krejci. Krejci mishandles the puck, gets it back, spins on the backhand side. Krejci closes the shot, save, rebound, Eriksson. Dubnyk coming up huge. Krug on the turn, right to the slot, low for Spooner. Spooner has Prosser crawling along the ice, darts it over to Bergeron, but the puck skips through. Over to Krug, 7 shots on the power play so far. Krug faking, gives low to Spooner, in front for Eriksson. Right shot, left shot problem there. Krejci to Spooner. The shot sails over the top. Less than 30 seconds to go on the power play. Zucker knocks the puck out to center. Devan Dubnyk, the best penalty killer for Minnesota right now. Bergeron over the line. Has Krejci nearby. Spooner top of the circle. The drop pass comes through to the Boston zone, and Minnesota could get a big emotional boost from what looks like a successful kill of a 5-on-3.
And that's an error of fatigue by Ryan Spooner. I mean, the Bruins had possession of the offensive zone. He wanted a line change, but he should have been playing left point there. A chip pass by Bergeron back to the point is an easy clear for Minnesota.
7 shots on the first portion of the power play and 0 on the second.
Yeah, and half of those shots were second chance opportunities, rebounds. Eriksson had a real good one. Bergeron had a real good one.
Chara gives to Hayes. Good reach from Koivu. Niederreiter sends the puck forward. And here comes Colin Miller weaving, but Koivu picks it off again. Chara's pass too far forward for Connolly. Niederreiter on the backhand. Saucer pass to Koivu. Save Gustafsson. Zucker scores on the rebound. What a turn of events. After some outstanding goaltending by Dubnyk at one end, Minnesota comes out hungry and scores a rebound goal. It's tied 1-1.
Well, when you talk about power plays, and if you don't score, you got to generate good looks and make sure you keep the offensive pressure and momentum on your side. Good drive by Krejci, rebound chance for Bergeron. Dubnyk, big time stop on the right pad. And then after Colin Miller beat one player in the neutral zone, Jack, he tries to beat a second. Can't do that. Beat one guy, then bang, move it. You don't move it, you turn it over. And even though it looks like a harmless play coming in the offensive zone for Minnesota, it's a shot by Koivu, a rebound chance. You don't have the inside position. There's some confusion in coverage. The rebound is available. Off the save by Gustafsson, and Zucker just buries it.
So a 1-1 hockey game. How do the Bruins respond? Pominville takes the pass from Vanek, fires it on Gustafsson. Long rebound, but Toronto turns, puts it through the corner. Kampanen off the skates.
Assisted by number 9, Mikko Koivu. And number
Now
3,
Seidenberg across his own goal.
Dino Niederreiter. Time of the goal, 5
Toronto
minutes,
knocks it into the middle. Pominville disrupts it. Dumba whips the puck. Tape to tape. Granlund. Here's Pominville closing. He's got Dumba top of the circle. Good movement by Minnesota. Plenty of options. Pominville closes. Gives to Granlund down in the corner. Bolesky caves in Granlund. Pominville slips to Vanek. Blind pass to the far side to Folin. Christian Folin wraps it around through the corner. Seidenberg wraps up Granlund. Granlund little hopping step to get an opening. McQuaid intercepts Vanek's pass intended for Pominville, and the Bruins ice it. Minnesota skaters were getting tired. They could use the change. The Bruins won't be able to get one.
Gear up for the 2016 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic with the official Bruins jersey. Available now at the Pro Shop, powered by Reebok, located on level 2 of TD Garden. The Pro Shop is the only place to get this one-of-a-kind Bruins sweater adorned with the official Winter Classic shoulder patch. For store hours, visit bostonbruins.com/Pro Shop.
Zucker, the goal scorer, right back out there on Koivu's left wing. Olsen rings the post to the right of Gustafsson. Bolesky cranks it all the way to the blue line. Prosser can't keep it in. Vetrano wins another puck battle. Vetrano closes. The shot sends Prosser's stick sailing. Vetrano slow to get up after Prosser with a big hit on the end boards, and on they go.
Yeah, that hurt his shoulder.
Koivu slides the puck down to the corner. Vetrano still gliding. He is in a lot of pain, and he goes right down the tunnel. Krug sails it wide on the glove side of Dubnyk. Eriksson brings it back to Trotman. The wrist shot deflected up and into the protective netting. Worries about Frank Vetrano, who has made such good impact offensively. The impact into the end boards.
Today, since breaking his femur on November 3rd, he told us when the fracture first happened, his leg went completely numb, and he originally thought he had been slashed. He still has yet to watch video of the incident, and right now he's just working on getting better, wearing a brace on his leg and using crutches, and told us he could be on a bike as early as next week, but the road to recovery is still a long one, 6 to 8 months. Brick, how much is the team missing him right now?
Well, certainly with the troubles with the penalty killing, although they've been good tonight, you lose a guy like Chris Kelly, and then when you start hearing the inner turmoil when things aren't going your way, and you're looking for that leadership group, the core group guys to pull everybody together and be one of those gel guys. I mean, Chris Kelly's got his name all over that, Jack, and of course he handles the media, and he's he's just been around. He plays the game the right way, so yeah, they miss him a lot.
Brooks' wrist shot deflects off Halla's stick up and into the protective netting. And Frank Vetrano going heavily into the end boards here.
Yeah, he put himself in that position. You know, he's trying to get that positioning where it says, okay, you know, no body contact because you're going to see the numbers. But it's just that little pivot. It's a little too late, certainly in the eyes of the officials, because there was no penalty on the play. Pretty good solid hit.
Yeah.
For Prosser.
Yeah. That's the way the game's been played tonight. Krug's long wrist shot, and Dubnyk flares out the right leg pad. Chris Porter to Eric Haula off of Krug's stick into the corner. Porter rims it around. Haula protecting the puck, feeds to the circle, but Eriksson has it. Haula jumps right on him. That's been one of the trademarks of this Minnesota team since Mike Yeo took over. When there's a player who can get to the puck within 2 steps, he jumps right on it. Eriksson fires it off. Connolly skated in. Brett Connolly scores off the centering pass. Just jamming for position, and the Bruins have answered.
Jack, I think Connolly got a blade of his stick in position to redirect it. Wow. But it all started, you were talking about Haller and that getting right on it, but it was Louis Eriksson that very kindly protected the puck. And now the Bruins are able to walk out of their own zone. It's a little crisscross between Eriksson and Krejci. And by doing so, Connolly's got the net drive. He appears to be covered by Pominville, but not covered enough. I mean, that's great effort by Connolly. Whether it's skate or stick, it's hard to tell. Maybe the overhead will tell us. Maybe it's on Pominville's skate, but just the fact that the blade of the stick is where it needs to be. I don't care how it went in right now.
Looks like Eriksson's goal is, I don't think Connolly ever got through to it, either with stick or skate. Definitely not skate. But he had the stick in the right position.
Yeah, you know, and he could feel whether that puck hits his stick or not. Sure. He'll let the official know as to whose goal it is. But it was a great play all the way around. All the way back to the defensive zone where you protect the puck, you don't panic, you make a possession play, and all of a sudden you walk into the offensive zone.
It's Ronaldo going toward goal, and Randall pops it up. And we got a hand pass ruled against the Bruins.
Hit him in the arm is what Randall's saying. Yeah, a little pressure going here. That's a tough call to go against you. Let's go back to that defensive zone check that we talked about. Hall's going to try to get right on Louis Eriksson. But Eriksson turned the puck back, but we're picking the play up a little later than that. And then they walk into the offensive zone. That little exchange between Krejci and Eriksson. It buys time for Connolly to get to the top of the blue paint, and it kind of confuses a little bit what Minnesota's doing defensively, but they had their guys, but they allowed entry.
Ryan Suter, Matt Dumba. Bergeron breaks it down. Marchand flicks the puck to the far boards. The Bruins have to tag up. Zucker takes the cross ice pass. Gets to the line and chips it to the end boards. Niederreiter. Trotman stacks him up. Zucker underneath Marchand. Rugby scrum on the end boards. Marchand comes away. Koivu with his third excellent poke check of this period. Brings it back to Suter. Slings it along the line. Dumba plays it on the bounce. Keeps it on the paint. So it's still onside. It bounces twice off the dasher on the way around the corner. Koivu bangs it down the boards. Chara slips it forward for Marchand. Koivu takes it back. You see the quality of Mikko Koivu's defensive play on virtually every shift of this game. Zach Trotman indirect to Jimmy Hayes. Hayes skates right past the puck. Dumba to Schrader, the one-timer, and a blocker save from Jonas Gustafsson. Charlie Coyle working his way out of the corner against Spooner. Dumba off Spooner's stick, and that one lobs up about 10 rows in the corner seats of the lower bowl.
You know, we talk a lot about board play and making the good plays in your own zone, protecting it, but it can also happen in open ice. Bruins are trying to protect the most dangerous area. That's the slot. Louis Eriksson, he feels the pressure. That little spin move. David Krejci's the second layer. Now you sort it out. You get it back to Krug. He's with his partner McQuaid, and all of a sudden, who's open? Louis Eriksson up the wall, who made the play down by the dot. I mean, that's good communication. That's good hockey. That's hockey IQ, and that's no panic.
Nate Prosser, the wrist shot deflects off Connolly's stick, goes off the end glass. Bolesky tries to chop it out to center. Folan battling on the half boards for Minnesota. Here's Jordan Schrader, curls to the backhand, but skates right into Spooner, who has been pretty assertive in the defensive zone so far. Connolly without a stick. It broke, I believe, when he deflected the shot. Connolly goes all the way to the Boston bench for a change. Bolesky deflects the pass and now chases against Poland. Unloads with a heavy body check. Schrader bunts it laterally. Charlie Coyle overskates the puck. It's about the same part of the ice where it stuck on Jimmy Hayes earlier. Prosser snaps a long wrist pass. Deflects off a stick, no ice. Minnesota changing out past the midpoint of the second. Colin Miller draws Granlund. Clever pass off the boards to Krejci, who knocks it back to Seidenberg. Seidenberg a couple of strides. Here's Ronaldo over the line. Ronaldo's wrist shot comes off a Spurgeon. Vanek turns the backhand to the corner. Gustafsson out while Granlund was surveying the front to see if there was a pass available, and the goaltender went back and made the play. Krejci getting away from the hook of Vanek. And he's going to go. Gustafsson makes his way leisurely to the bench. Krejci bounces the puck forward to Bergeron. The Bruins have the extra skater on the ice with a power play coming. Marchand swings it back for Krug. Tons of room. The drive and a glove save by Dubnyk. 8:58 to go, second period. The power play after this short break. And Brick's look at the Berkshire Bank rewind on Brad Marchand's goal.
Rewind is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. We're going to rewind it back to the first goal of the game, and it's going to come off the stick of Brad Marchand. So much to like about this goal. The Bruins doing a nice job on the forecheck. Even though the play is kind of nullified on the breakout, it's that first man getting in, not allowing Minnesota to do what they want. That was Patrice Bergeron, and then it's the read by Marchand to take away the wall when the D-to-D pass just isn't completed. And then when you focus on the third man, that's Brett Connolly. Find the seam. You're the third man high. You're in the scoring area. Good pass by Marchand. And then Marchand able on the wraparound. Marchand has been all around the puck in that first period, as he has been here in the second. And he's rewarded for his efforts. And there was a lot of net to get to on that wraparound, but it all starts with a great forecheck.
Devan Dubnyk had a fantastic penalty kill when the Bruins had a 5-on-3 advantage. Bergeron wins the draw to start this 5-on-4. Krug over to Krejci with Bergeron the bumper. Spooner and Eriksson down low. Eriksson posted up right in front of Dubnyk. Here he is with the puck back to Spooner. Around Hall's reach to Krejci around the perimeter. Krug in front. Bergeron across to Eriksson. He scores! Patrice Bergeron digs it out of a thicket. Finds Louis Eriksson, and the Bruins are up 2. The power play has been unbelievable this season.
Yeah, I was curious to watch the officials if there was any kind of discussion as to what was going on in the blue paint. But it's just all real good effort, puck pursuit. You're looking for commitment, you're looking for effort, you're looking for that total focus from the Bruins tonight. It's a good example of it here on the power play. Of course, the power play has been very successful. There's real good concentration. The battle by Eriksson away from the puck, the redirect attempt by Bergeron, but Bergeron's second effort. He knows if he can get to that loose puck, Eriksson hasn't vacated. He's still hanging around off that weak side post. And his second effort is able to get the puck. Bergeron to Eriksson, that stick-to-itiveness. His initial chance, Jack, with the blade of his stick, he kind of missed the puck because it was, bouncing and spinning. But he had his right skate in a real good position, kind of like a Mark Recchi play. And then he gets a second chance at it. And he's able to slip it in between the legs. Now, he may have not got the blade of the stick on it because it might have hit that right skate and had enough on it to get across the goal line, and that might be part of the discussion. But even that wouldn't be a distinct kicking motion either.
No, especially under the liberalized interpretation of it. So the play is under review. All scoring plays are reviewed. Some of them are quite brief and obvious, and others, they got to look pretty carefully.
And even if he doesn't get the blade of his stick on it, just to re-emphasize, tries the first time, it comes off the skate, does he get a piece of it? The puck seems to pick up with a little acceleration as it goes through Dubnyk.
Something
which gives you an idea that he gets his stick on it.
Yeah, he swatted it right underneath Dubnyk.
Yeah, and I think logic tells you that because that puck seemed to pick up speed once it goes across the goal line.
And there certainly is no goaltender interference here.
No, and there's no distinct kicking motion.
Right.
So I mean, this is going to count.
Yeah. So even if they think it went in off the skate blade and was not helped along by the stick, which we are deducing it did, even though we haven't yet seen any video that says exactly that. Well, here's the call from Ian Walsh.
After review, there was no distinct kicking motion. This is a good hockey goal.
Exactly, regardless whether he got it with a stick or not. And by the way, Eriksson has indeed been given credit for the go-ahead goal. So 2 on the night for Louis Eriksson, and the Bruins have answered a surge from an opponent at TD Garden.
Yeah, and then that was an important sequence that you're talking about, Jack, about the surge. The great penalty kill, the goaltending of Dubnyk, and the 5-on-3, lengthy 5-on-3. And then a goal soon after that by Zucker to make it a 1-1 hockey game. How are you going to respond? Well, there's your answer.
Driving around the boards, Bergeron deflects it into Prosser's body, and Bergeron finishes the clear. Marchand stretching the strides. Folin goes awkwardly into the end boards and his skates right next to the kick plate. Spooner hard down on Niederreiter, stick to win the puck to Marchand, back to Miller. The blast goes wide on the stick side. Chara one-hands it past Koivu. Jimmy Hayes flailing at the puck to keep it alive. Hacking away at Zucker, who shields and takes it back of his own goal line. Colin Miller kicks it forward. Spooner with a hit on Niederreiter, but here comes Koivu. Colin Miller pokes it away at his own line. Two well-matched teams playing a physical brand of hockey. Here's Connolly into Spooner's skates. Can't kick to the stick. Pominville back of his goal. Dumba quickly around. Colin Miller fires it forward. Spooner with a high slot tip. Couldn't angle it on net. And Dumba snaps it forward to the attacking line. Pominville can't control the hot puck. Granlund tries to prevent Connolly from getting through. Bolesky and Connolly 2-on-1 against Folin. Bolesky up high on Dubnyk, and this one rattles off the metal as McQuaid wrists it in from far out. Seidenberg into Pominville. He kills the puck, goes over the spoke B, sends it wide for Vanek. Vanek better than a point per game against the Bruins lifetime. Granlund, high slot. A good read from Kampainen to steal the puck and chip it out.
Did it sound like Bolesky's drive hit the crossbar?
I thought it. I was going to say if it was off the butt end of the stick or the crossbar.
Sounded crossbar.
Something made hard contact there. Did you see a washout signal?
I did, but I sure thought I heard far.
Right. Jordan Schrader working through the corner, brings it back to Ryan Suter. He scores! A significant screen, and Gustafsson never saw it. Ryan Suter floating in, a lob from the point, and it is 3-2 with 6.5 to go in the second.
Real good break here for Minnesota, but if you're going to front people, block shots, especially if they're wrist shots. You got to be able to track the puck. You can't create screens for your own goaltender. I mean, there's a lot of bodies there, and maybe it deflects off Schrader out high. It had to have, because it sure looks like Trotman's in good position to block this shot. It had to have, Jack. I think it hit 10 in white. Schrader with the redirect just right off his body, because if he hit it with his stick, it was awfully high.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets a piece of that with the stick, I'm not sure I'd count it.
So, one-goal game once again. Minnesota playing with some moxie. Seidenberg. A tight backhand pass. Miller up ahead for Bolesky. The shot and a stick stop by Dubnyk. Eriksson to Bolesky. Holds back of the goal. Fires it out to the corner to Krejci. Bolesky pounces on the loose puck. Wrists it in front. Eriksson stumbles after contact from Spurgeon. The crowd looking for a call. They're not going to get it. Colin Miller fires it forward with Marchand fresh off the bench. Marchand wins the race to the puck. It's up on edge. Marchand trying to curl on the backhand. Suter is on him. This deflects off of Hollis' stick. And pressed into the corner. Chara wins the battle against Chris Porter, then slams into Porter again. Bulmer finds Bergeron's shoulder right in his chest, and he loses possession. Trotman wings it off the corner glass. Bulmer stacking up, shielding from Bergeron, and slips it to Eric Haula. Haula breaks with Chris Porter on his right, flutters it to the corner. Chara lines up Porter. Porter very quick to the puck. Chara tries to staple him in on the far side. Trotman unable to take possession of the puck. Niederreiter wins a puck battle. Chara uses the big long stick to poke it away. Zucker trying to stick handle around Bergeron. And now Mikko Koivu gains the line, cuts to the forehand, fires it off Chara's legs. Trotman and Niederreiter stacked up on the end boards again. Mikko Koivu around to Zucker, nudges to Prosser, cross ice for Dumba. Dumba's wrist shot and a save by Gustafsson. And Chara and Niederreiter getting at it right in front of Gustafsson's goal. Louis Eriksson has a pair. He's the difference maker right now. 3-2 Boston, late second.
TD Garden, tonight's Mobile Bruins poll is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. We're asking you, do you like the new 3-on-3 tournament format for the NHL All-Star Game? Reply A for yes or B for no. Text your answer to 536-536. Jack and Brick, are you going to go with the majority on this one and say yes?
Not too crazy about the NHL's.
Check out the Instigators tonight, perhaps.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do a little venting. Scheduled for 10:30, might be a couple of minutes later than that, but we'll have the full lively half hour for you from our Watertown studios this evening, live on NESN. Krejci and Koivu on the face-off. Niederreiter flicks the puck to the corner. McQuaid hammers Zucker. Puck comes off glass, funny bounce, but Krug intercepts the pass. Krug gains the line in the middle, has Eriksson on his left. Louis Eriksson with Bolesky middle. Krug sends it off Niederreiter's stick all the way across. Dumba without a stick as it broke in the exchange. Can the Bruins take advantage? The long change in the second period. Krejci across the top of the slot. Zucker's giving up his stick. Krejci all the way in, and it goes off the roof of the goal. I think Dubnyk swatted it with the back of the trapper. Maybe after it had gone past the bar, but there was another wild one. Krejci along the line with Niederreiter. Bruins taking advantage of Dumba, who broke his stick and has taken Zucker's blade.
Yeah, and he tried to clear the puck. He was around the puck below the goal line. He tried to hammer it up the wall, but he's got a left stick. Couldn't get anything on it.
Minnesota manages to clear and changes out. And Vanek is offside, jumping the line. David Krejci with some magical moves.
Yeah, just his patience with the puck, Jack. He's able to just hold, pump fake. And even though this one's deflected on the backhand by Koivu, Dubnyk's tracking it, just gets his glove on. It actually may have gone over him and under the bar, but by getting a piece of it, it pushes back onto the back netting.
Devan Dubnyk, an amazing story. As he just bounced around from team to team, and it looked as if this former Colin Miller with the drive, it looked like the former first-round pick was never going to get his moment. Kemppainen fires it on Dubnyk. Dubnyk ended up starting 39 consecutive games last season. Kemppainen redirects it, and Dubnyk covers up. Just an amazing story. Originally drafted by Edmonton, middle of the first round in 2004. Then went to Nashville, then Montreal. Unrestricted free agent with Arizona. And then got traded to Minnesota for a third-round pick. So, you know, okay, but third-round pick for a guy who was number 14 overall. That's stock that has declined significantly in value. He won the 15 Masterton Award for perseverance and dedication to the game. Finished third in the Vezina voting, fourth in the Hart Trophy voting. He was the reason that Minnesota got into the playoffs. Colin Miller's wrist shot goes off.
He's got something you can't teach, and that's size. I mean, he's 6'6", about what, 230 or something. At the morning skate, just looking at him, you know, I'm down at ice level, right along the goal, and I'm saying, there's almost no net. You can't see any net. And then you look down the other end. There's Darcy Kempa. He's 6'4", 5.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these goaltenders are so big. You know, that highlight on this date that they ran, Chris Terrarian net.
Yeah.
For the New Jersey Devils. You think you saw some net with Chris Terrarian?
He's
there?
my size. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But you know, we've heard some sanity from Jonathan Quick saying, yeah, shrink the pads. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's make real saves here instead of just wearing couch pillows under your sweater and you know the futons on the leg pads.
Yeah, and I think you have Tuukka Rask on record saying, yeah, I'm all for it too, as long as you're happy with goals against around 3.
Yeah. Seidenberg down the boards. Kemppainen flips it to Connolly, tries to make a backhand pass, can't get it through Haula. Prosser scoops it up and out. 2.5 to go in the second. A very important juncture of the game for the Bruins, who have expanded their lead and seen it shrink back to 1 after answering Minnesota's surge in the second period. Seidenberg paying the price as Porter unloads there. Connolly in front of the Minnesota bench finds Spooner. Spooner darts up the right side, goes around full on the backhand kick, saved by Dubnyk. Paula wrists it around. Brett Bulmer drops it off, and Nate Prosser scoops it all the way to the Boston zone. Zach Trott hard off glass. That will not connect, and it'll be an icing call.
Oh, they're going to wave it off.
I saw the linesman at center with his arm in the air, but the other one said no. Here's Jordan Schrader darting past Hayes. The shot and a save by Gustafsson coming off his line. Suter right into Marchand's body. He's got Hayes in the middle. Spurgeon the only man back. The drop pass past Bergeron. Trotman to Char. Past the red line to Marchand. Pivots around Spurgeon. Now Bergeron and Charlie Coyle. Coyle pries it, but right to Hayes. Tries to feed it in front. Ryan Suter. Johnny on the spot. Krug, nifty pick of the puck as it was airborne. He caught it on the backhand. The Bruins dump in with about a minute to go.
Not sure what Marchand thought he saw. If he had that third guy, maybe Bergeron coming late. The play was to put a puck on net with Hayes on a net drive, but he thought he had a third option.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Bolesky goes for a tumble. The puck's underneath him. The faceoff will be in the Boston zone with about 57 seconds to go in the second.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome the Conway Parks and Recreation Department to tonight's game. At TD Bank, they're committed to supporting the communities they serve by making a difference together.
Dumba's wrist shot goes off Koivu and bounces all the way across the ice. Christian Folin down through the corner. 3/4 of a minute to go in the second period. Adam McQuaid almost toe-picked, fires it off the boards in the neutral zone. That'll be icing, and the faceoff comes back to the Boston end. Bruins have taken 18 shots on goal in the second period. Their single period high this season is 19.
And it's been two challenges. We mentioned the sequence of the 5-on-3, not getting anything, great looks, good rebounds, and then a quick score by Minnesota. You respond, you reestablish the lead, then they extend it to 3-1, and then kind of a fluky goal by Minnesota. That's the second challenge the Bruins are getting, and how they can respond to that.
Dumba flicks the puck to the boards. Krejci back to Krug. Krejci saucers it to Eriksson. A touch back to McQuaid. Louis Eriksson skating over the red line with 23 seconds to go in the period. Delayed offside against the Bruins as Krejci was ahead of the puck. Ryan Suter managing the clock. 15 seconds to go. Koivu shielding from Bolesky. Koivu turns it back. Had Dumba jumping up on the play. A little bit of dicey judgment by Dumba. If the Bruins came up with that cleanly, they got a 2-on-1 in the final seconds. But Suter will just run the clock to 0. The Bruins will go into the third period with a 1-goal lead on the Minnesota Wild.
You knew it would be this kind of game, given the way Minnesota plays and their desire for points, their need for points. And Boston needed to have a strong response, given the way they played against San Jose. You've gotten it for 40 minutes, and there's the challenge for Boston going into the third.
Dale, the Bruins came into tonight 1 point out of last place in the Atlantic Division. It's time for some traction, and the third period's going to be all about that. Leonard Essen production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Bruins lead Minnesota 3-2 heading to the third. Moments ago, Brick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Doug Huda.
Doug, after the loss to the San Jose Sharks, one of the focuses coming into tonight was a better focus, a more committed effort in that department. How have you liked it through 40 minutes?
Well, I think we're paying a little bit more attention to detail, and so far so good. They got a couple of breaks. We turned some pucks over in the second. They threw a couple pucks at the net, but Gus has been good for us, and we just got to come out in this third period and play on our toes and play with some confidence. We got the lead. We just need to go out there and play our game.
Important sequence. You get the 5-on-3. You got a number of good looks. I think you might have had 7 shots on that two-man advantage with 2 or 3 of them real good looks on those rebounds. You don't score, and then they come down and tie the game. I mean, that was a real challenge for your group. How did you like the way you responded?
Well, I think we did a good job. We come right back. They tied it up. We come back and get one. The 5-on-3, I thought the goaltender made some big saves. So, our guys had some really good looks. He made some good saves. Come down, that's the breaks. We just got to make sure that we're pushing back at them this period.
Thanks, Doug. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks, guys.
Unusual mornings these days at TD Garden. Sarah Davis has more.
That's right, Jack. For the third consecutive game day, the Bruins were given an optional skate, something that Claude Julien said he may do a lot more of moving forward. He believes the morning skate becomes less and less necessary as the season goes on. Brad Marchand kicked around a soccer ball this morning, and he told me he's not a fan of the morning skate, whereas Tyler Randall, he hit the ice, and he likes the routine. Brick, what's your take on the morning skate? You think it's paying off here tonight?
You mean what is my personal take on a morning skate back in the day when I was playing, or right now? If you ask me right now, it's really all about the schedule, how much practice time you get, what do you need to work on, what's the the pulse of the club. What do they need? If they're lacking focus, maybe you give them some instruction in the morning. Get them in a game day routine as early as possible. The Bruins have been pretty successful, Jack, on the road. What are you doing on the road that helps you get ready? And is it optional? Is it mandatory? Or does it even matter?
Get a ritual that works for you. Get ready to play. That's the idea behind an optional morning skate.
Yeah, I like them, to be honest with you. I like to get into the frame of mind, the minute you get up.
Jason Zucker fires it off Zach Trotman's legs. Trotman takes Niederreiter out of the play, and Bergeron picks up the puck as the second layer. Backhands it off glass. It bounces down to Ryan Suter. The Minnesota Wild is kind of middle of the road in third period goal differential, ranked number 12 in the early season at +2. The Bruins have the 5th worst third period goal differential in the league at -6. So yet another challenge.
Yeah, the message in between periods, and obviously this is just an educated guess, though, Jack, is, you got a good thing going. Pretty strong 40 minutes. We got the lead in the hockey game, but it's all about this 20 minutes now. Answer the challenge that has been issued forth before this game. Done a nice job for 40 minutes, but this is where the challenge actually begins. The last 20 minutes.
Olofsson, the length of the ice, and that's going to be icing against the Wild.
The most important thing we can share this holiday season is our generosity. Bring a new unwrapped toy to any Eastern Bank branch before December 18th to support Toys for Tots. Go to easternbank.com/toys for more information.
Kyle Granlund on the face-off against David Krejci. Krejci wins the draw to Krug. Couple of strides, the backhand loops over the goal mouth. Krejci working against Olofsson. Olofsson holds off McQuaid's charge down the boards. Pominville pokes it to the middle of the attacking zone. Krug rims it around, and here comes Bolesky 1 against 3. Finds Eriksson. Krejci the trailer. Krejci closes right in front, and a save by Dubnyk, denying Bolesky on the doorstep. Dubnyk getting the leg across the goal line. Seidenberg to Spooner. The triangle's forming as Colin Miller makes the rush, fires it in on Dubnyk, and he'll take the face-off in his own end of the ice. Devin Dubnyk with an outstanding game tonight.
Yeah, the play, Jack, started with Torrey Krug on the hard wraparound, and Bolesky makes another good play to get to it, and he finds Eriksson on the opposite side of the ice, and Bolesky just goes to the front of the net, doing what he should do. Here comes David Krejci and his ability to find sticks, open people, even if they're covered. He knows where to put the puck, and Bolesky gets another chance. He's been all around, everything but a goal tonight. Right at the top of the crease, actually halfway through that crease. Dubnyk with a great right pad stop to
Combined Spooner and Connolly holds the line.
Number 10, Jordan Schrader. Assistant number 20.
Combined taking the draw. Spooner playing a little bit of wing here. Connolly kicks it forward to Kemppainen. Finds Connolly in the seam. A hard wrist shot sails over the stick side. Brett Bulmer. Third effort gets it past Kemppainen. He steals from Chris Porter. Spooner does a good job winning the puck away from Bulmer and gets it in deep. Bulmer tries to chop it past Chara and does. Marchand made the turn and prevented Charlie Coyle from having a break. Porter gets Bergeron's stick out of his mitts. Trotman the long diagonal, tape to Marchand. Pulls it back and feeds Hayes. Hayes closing right in front from Marchand. And Olsen with a good stick lift to prevent Marchand from a point-blank chance. Charlie Coyle cannot stick handle through traffic along the boards. Trotman ahead to Marchand. Pulls up over the line. Olofsson with the puck. Cross ice for Fulham. Jordan Schrader.
Just that sticky ice again.
Yeah, it's weird. Jordan Schrader has been credited with that second goal for Minnesota. Don't ever doubt Andy Brickley's eyes. Here's Krejci, the curl and drag, but couldn't get it through the mess of sticks. Niederreiter flicks it forward. McQuaid gloves it down. Zucker right on it. Krug fires the puck off the boards. Koivu takes possession back. Matt Dumba along the red line. Prosser kicks it down the boards, and the Bruins take possession back. McQuaid flutters it out. A couple of bounces for Bolesky. Prosser nudges him. Krejci takes the puck over the line. Onside as Bolesky got back. Prosser runs into Louis Eriksson. Bolesky can't flick it off the boards. Prosser's pass offline. Krug lobs it toward goal. Eriksson around through the corner. Zucker uses the angle and wedges off Eriksson. Snaps it to Niederreiter. The cutback. The pass intended for Koivu, but Colin Miller breaks it up. 3-on-1 here. Eriksson gets it back with Krejci and scores. Louis Eriksson has the hat trick. His first as a Bruin. And the Hats come sailing down at TD Garden.
Turning defense into offense. Niederreiter with the puck in the offensive zone for Minnesota. Thinks he has a play right around the tops of the circles, but it's a good stick check by Colin Miller. Back in the lineup tonight for Kevin Miller. Good job, good read, played center field, good rotation to get back to the weak side. Disrupts that pass, and then the Bruins in transition. And it's a simple little give and go. The most effective play in hockey. And David Krejci with a perfectly timed return pass, and Louis Eriksson with a beautiful finish. All three from Louis Eriksson tonight in this 4-2 lead for Boston. The first one, the second one on the power play, and right here the third. Just a beautiful sweeping one-timer on the give and go with David Krejci after a good play by Colin Miller. You know, if you added up the footage of ice between Louis Eriksson and the goal line when he scores all his goals, you might get to about 100 feet. Yeah. He doesn't score from too far out.
Eriksson, and it's not just about the points, playing his finest hockey since coming to the Bruins from the Dallas Stars. All three zones, he's been a difference maker.
And believe it or not, this is yet another challenge of a different kind.
Assisted by number 46, David.
Talk about that mental toughness, Jack. Now you got a 4-2 lead. There's a feel-good in the building on the hat trick. But you can't get away from what you're doing. It's all about that 60-minute focus, and it's a third challenge of a different kind here in this hockey game.
Live in the moment.
Assisted by David Krejci and Matt Bolesky.
Driving around the boards, hard to Bergeron, who gets his hands on his stick after jumping over the boards, changing onto the ice. Krejci and Bolesky, the assists on Louis Eriksson's 9th goal of the season, his 3rd of the night. Notice Gustafsson, it rides the rail. Schrader at the dot, cannot control the puck. Tries to backhand it through Bergeron, who holds him off. Hayes the next layer. Coyle gets between Bergeron and Hayes and takes the puck away, but Seidenberg helps get the puck out of the zone. Hayes to Marchand, closing, looking across the front for Bergeron. Colin Miller lobs the backhand to the corner. Olofsson to Schrader, strong in the stick with Bergeron hunting the puck. Hayes with the reach, turns and fires it through the corner. The Bruins getting some attacking zone time here. Colin Miller cross ice looking for Jimmy Hayes coming off the boards. Seidenberg pokes it over to Colin Miller. Miller ahead. Hayes gets it deep. The Bruins will take a full change here. Suter up the left wing. Chris Porter redirects it behind Gustafsson. Gustafsson looks one way, flips it the other. Haula got a piece of it. Porter pries it back to Dumba. Dumba over to Suter. Suter down to the half boards, dances around. Ronaldo fires it across the middle looking for Haula, but Randall was locked up with him. Haula's stick shatters in a effort to get the puck. Ronaldo touches it back to Tyler Randall. To Ronaldo, the drive and an easy blocker stop for Dubnyk, who angles it to the corner. The Bruins get possession back in the neutral zone. Chara wrists it off Krejci's legs. and Trotman will settle it down. Chara elevates the pass. Louis Eriksson cuts back over the line, gives to Chara. The blast and a leg save by Dubnyk, who had a good eye on it and was right on his angle. Zucker golfs it past Trotman. It rolls through the corner. Krejci after it. Bolesky trying to poke the puck back. Koivu gives it to Folin. The wrist shot goes wide. Prosser, the defenseman, past the hash marks. Niederreiter's pass gets deflected. Koivu and Chara battle hard in the corner. Chara comes away with the puck and slaps it to the near side. Trotman nudges forward for Louis Eriksson against Prosser. Eriksson uses the good hands to find it and slide the pass to Chara. What the heck from 90? That one sailed almost off the bean of Dubnyk.
Jack, it's been a clinic tonight by Louis Eriksson on puck possession. And not only does he have the 3 goals, and he's been the Bruins' best forward, best player, most productive player, obviously. But his ability to possess the puck and make plays in tight areas.
Colin Miller has it come off his stick. Jared Spurgeon wrists it wide. Pominville chops for Carter. As Mike Yeo has changed up his lines. Connolly battling against Suter on the half boards. Pominville squirts it down to the corner. They step over Jonas Gustafsson's stick. Kampainen composed with the puck, pulling it back and giving it to Brett Connolly. He gains the line. Spooner drops off to Miller, tries to shove it middle, but Spurgeon finally getting back into the play, breaks it up. Gustafsson, long since, has retrieved his stick, which was out to the right of his goal. Suter deliberately into the neutral zone. Marchand playing possum, jumps into the seam to knock it away, and the Bruins get the puck back. Krug long indirect. Hayes catches it on the stick. Across the middle, but Dumba cuts it off. Marchand checks him into the end boards and wins the puck back. Marchand to Bergeron. He turns to the backhand. Goes indirect from McQuaid. His one-timer saved by Dubnyk, and he fungles it out of the crease.
Jimmy Hayes got hit with a high stick, but no call.
Coyle to Suter. He threads the needle. Opposite wing. Coyle gets around McQuaid. Tries to jam it short side. And Gustafsson has to hold the post. Coyle goes indirect. Here's Dumba taking the cross ice pass from Olofsson. Coyle to Vanek. Back to Coyle. It goes right to the crease. Scrambling with the Bruins. Collapsing in front of their goal. All 6 Bruins were within about 8 feet of the goalpost. Bergeron makes the play at the defensive line. The Bruins knock it out. They will not be icing.
What a nifty little play between Coyle and Vanek to lead to that scoring chance. Started out as high at the point, but the two of them rotate deep, meaning high back into the offensive zone to create that chance.
Bolesky gets a piece of the cross ice pass intended for Koivu. Koivu shovels it right into the crease. Bolesky after the bouncer. Folin controls the puck up on edge. Folin getting around Bolesky. Now here's Koivu, the captain, cross ice for Suter. The wrist shot saved. Gustafsson, Krejci there for the rebound as Chara was cleaning out the traffic. Folin waits and Bolesky mashes him. Chara on the end boards. Chara stick handling and fires it off the boards. Bolesky can't clear the zone. Niederreiter to Zucker. Chara plasters him. Zucker hops right out of it. Swivels on the backhand. Koivu draws it away from Krejci. Folin over to Suter. The wrist shot toward goal. Zucker poking out the stick to try to make the high slot tip, and he got a piece of it, but it goes wide. Suter to the middle of the line. Koivu elevates the pass. Niederreiter trying to go through the corner against Trotman. Trotman angles him off. The Bruins having a heck of a time getting it out of their own end as Minnesota has put the pedal to the metal. Ryan Suter dancing at the line, wrists it into Kampainen. He uses Eriksson's position as a pick to move it forward, and the Bruins get a full change here.
Understatement of the year. That was a long shift for that Krejci line, but Eriksson had to even stay longer. He was on the wide side change, and even though you get a couple of forward guys off, he had to stay that entire shift and then some.
Miller through the legs, ill-advised pass. Granlund fires it right off of Gustafsson's chest. Granlund brings it back to Dumba at the point. The wrist shot off Kampainen. That one hurt. He gets up in a little bit of pain, but still pursuing the puck. Granlund, a quick re-entry. Minnesota really pouring on the effort right now. Miller D to Seidenberg, returns it to Colin Miller, goes indirect through Marchand. Spurgeon picks it off inside the Minnesota line. Jared Spurgeon leaves it for Nate Prosser and Charlie Coyle. Prosser carries forward. Coyle goes around Marchand. Here goes Schrader. Schrader the cutback move, but Bergeron puts the body on him. Hayes works it out 3-on-2. Bergeron joining the rush late. Marchand's pass goes off of Olofsson's stick. Schrader on the counterattack. Works it to the middle. Here's Olofsson, and he fires over Gustafsson. Centering pass comes off of Gustafsson as Vanek tried to bank it in, although he was forward of the goal line.
It looked like Olofsson just handled that puck when he should have just got it all in one motion and released it. Easy to say up here, and a young player, a defenseman for that matter, who just reeled himself in a real good position, had an empty net.
Tremendous consecutive run of play here as Minnesota has emptied its buckets. Chris Porter over the line. Krejci tips it to the end boards. Brett Plummer around the boards. And this one goes the length of the rink.
Tonight, after the postgame, stay right here for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Lisa will have more on this wild game. The latest on the Patriots prepping to take on the Bills, and an in-depth preview of the BC Eagles taking on Notre Dame over at Fenway. And all you need to know tonight following Bruins coverage.
I believe it's 8 minutes and 48 seconds between whistles.
I need a timeout.
And you're going to get one. Claude Julien has called timeout. There is no game like this one played at this level when you get two teams that have entered the battle, and it has been a physical and at times a good kind of nasty game. And here we are going into the late third period, and it's still in doubt.
Yeah, we talk about how much points are at a premium already in this season, given what's going on in the NHL and how close these playoff divisional standings can be. And you know, even though you're playing a Western Conference team, I mean, points are just you got to stockpile them, especially if you've been leaving some out there, which the Bruins have. And Minnesota not so much, but Boston certainly. And you got to improve your home record. And here you are in the third period. Maybe you're trying to shorten your bench a little bit. And you had this consecutive run of play. You had the Krejci line on the ice for an extensive shift, and you know you're going to come back with them in short order. You've already lost Vetrano, so now you're down in terms of forwards. How much do you want to play Ronaldo and Randall in this situation? So some real bench jockeying going on if you're Claude Julien.
Ryan Murphy. The linesmen and referees don't get to change on the fly. That was a long stretch. Murphy and Derek Nansen, the linesmen, who have a lot of ice to cover every night. Trotman holds the puck at the end boards. Niederreiter wraps him up. Krejci there to help out. Trotman comes out of the pile with the puck. Bergeron plays it beautifully past Dumba. Krejci cruises over the line, flip-flops with Eriksson. Here's Chara, the blast! A save by Dubnyk. He doesn't know where it is. Between his legs, it's still loose in the crease. And finally, Koivu clears it. The whistle from Ian Walsh, the referee. We could see it, but of course, we're about 60 feet higher than he is. Louis Eriksson has his first hat trick as a Bruin. It's 4-2 Boston.
It's gone. It feels like Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live is minutes away. It is. Barry and I'll be here to talk about Louis' big night. Claude Julien one-on-one with Jack and Brick, and get you ready for the Maple Leafs. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live coming right up, Jack.
Tremendously entertaining hockey game here. So when you want to see the game played, Minnesota has come in hungry. The hits have been hard and clean. Louis Eriksson has been the best player on the ice tonight. Devin Dubnyk not a whole lot behind him. Here's Brett Connolly. Can't get a clean shot through. Suter and Kempinen to the far side, and Pominville looks across for Ryan Carter. It comes off his stick, and Adam McQuaid gets it to Kempinen, who sends it in deep. Now it's the Bruins taking short, clean shifts and getting the full changes. Kyle Granlund skates over the Boston line. The wrist shot blocked by Colin Miller. Bergeron wraps up Spurgeon. If the defenseman's on the end boards getting wrapped up, that tells you how Mike Yeo has said to his defenseman, let's go. Down 2, 6 minutes left. It's time to get back into this game.
Saturday night at 6:30, join Dale and Billy for Bruins Face-Off Live, presented by Echo Store Technologies. They'll preview the front end of a home-and-home against the Maple Leafs and take a look at the changes Mike Babcock has made as Toronto's head coach. Get ready for the game right here Saturday at 6:30.
Charlie Coyle and David Krejci on the face-off. Folin. Bolesky blocks it. Now pops right over the Boston bench, about 9 rows high. Bruins aren't spending a lot of time looking at the clock right now, just trying to win each shift, trying to win each puck battle. Krejci winning the draw right across the front. Gustafsson has to steer to the near boards. Colin Miller takes the hit from Coyle to bounce it off the boards all the way down to the Minnesota end. Christian Folin fires it long to the attack line. Vanek can't find it in his skates. Seidenberg with the puck on edge hammers it off the boards. And Olofsson makes the pivot in his own end of the ice. Folin up the middle. Coyle deflects it down Chara's side of the ice. Dropping around the boards. Eriksson flips it all the way to the Minnesota end. Matt Dumba up to the attacking line under Schrader's blade. And Minnesota changes out. Chara leads Marchand. He cuts back, gets around Niederreiter, who loses his stick in the exchange and fires it in deep. Bergeron right in front. Marchand shot saved by Dubnyk. Niederreiter tries to chip it all the way across. Zucker drags it along, fires a juicy rebound, but Chara is the only man there. Dumba tries to one-time it through Hayes. Niederreiter to Koivu. Nifty move to get it down to Suter. He sends it across the middle, and there goes Dubnyk with 4:11 to go, and a penalty coming against Boston.
Yeah, that's why he was going.
Yeah. Power play coming for the Minnesota Wild. The Bruins penalty kill, ranked last in the league, gets a stern test next.
He's going to make his way to the penalty box for this stick infraction. Little cutback move by Koivu. Marchand did a nice job to be where he needed to be, at least to try to help out defensively, but the stick work's going to send him to the box. The Bruins with a 4-2 lead. Minnesota 0 for 2 on the power play tonight, Jack, with only a couple of shots. But I would seriously consider going 6-on-4 right now if you were the Minnesota Wild. I guess they're thinking, well, Boston not having not a whole lot of luck killing penalties this year. Less risk if we can play 5-on-4 and cut into this lead forward, the 4-2 lead, get it to 4-3 with a 5-on-4. But I might think going 6-on-4 at some point.
Yeah, I think not off the drop, because 37 on the ice for Boston might have had something to do with Mike Yeo's calculation. And indeed, he won the draw to begin the power play. Granlund fires it over to Mikko Koivu. Koivu down to the hash marks, indirect to Suter. Suter to Granlund, turns to face goal. Koivu's in the bumper position. Zucker is the man in front. Vanek's wrist shot back to Granlund. Suter holds. Zucker slides it right through the middle. Vanek is the low man now. This comes back to Zucker. The drive and a stop by Chara, blocking it with the skate. Still a minute 10 to go in the power play. The high slot tip, Koivu, and he gets it down off of Chara's body, and there goes Dubnyk. So here comes the 6 skaters against 4 with an empty net. No negative ramifications for icing the puck for the Bruins. They can shoot at will. Suter shot saved by Gustafsson. Chara backhands it free and down the river.
Big plays by Chara. Had a couple couple of good blocks, one with his body, one with his stick, and there he fishes out the rebound with a high backhand clear.
Jason Zucker gains the line. Jason Pominville, who was a power play specialist when he broke away with Buffalo. Here's Krejci shooting for the empty goal, but missing wide to the left as he looks at it. Less than 30 seconds to go in Minnesota's power play. Ryan Suter slides it for Zucker. Zucker, the dart tape to Koivu down to the hash marks. Koivu has Zucker in the middle of the penalty-killing formation. Eriksson gets a piece of the puck. Suter takes it back. Zucker's blast. Seidenberg with the block on the body. He turns and slings it to the blue line. And Suter is waiting for it. 5 seconds to go in the power play. Seidenberg from 200 just misses. It's back to 5-on-5 plus the goalies, and since Minnesota has pulled theirs, 6 Wild skaters against 5 for Boston plus Jonas Gustafsson. Chara turns, fires it into Kemppainen. Bergeron to Marchand. Penalty coming here. And the Bruins will have a power play. Too many men on the ice. 6 against 5 is one thing. 7 against 5 is against the rules.
Desperate times.
Too many men on the ice.
All for desperate measures. But right around that 1 minute mark of the 2-minute power play, Minnesota went for the 6-on-4. And Boston did a terrific job. And this is what they've been concentrating on as you get a look at too many white jerseys on the ice in this situation. But the Bruins did a really good job in what area, Jack? Blocking shots, body position, stick position. Even in the 6-on-4, they were in real good shape. You need your goalie to make stops. Dubnyk certainly did that in the 5-on-3 for Minnesota early in the game. Gustafsson's made the stops he's been called on to make in the penalty-killing situation. Not that they've been a ton. Certainly not. The Bruins have done a nice job on the PK tonight.
Minnesota's the 8th best team in the NHL, according to the league's overall standings. Bruins come in ranked number 21 in the league. Regardless of the opponent, this was an important game for Boston to put away, just to establish that their home ice is a tough place to play. But that it comes against a hungry and hard-playing Minnesota team makes it somewhat impressive. Marchand pokes it away from Prosser. Miller to Krug. The shot with Hayes screening Dubnyk. Dubnyk has had an excellent game despite giving up 4 goals. Torrey Krug. Low for Hayes. Off the boards. Krug to Miller. Around the perimeter. A minute to go.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Marchand to Hayes. He wraps it around. It's almost like Dean Smith's 4-corner offense running a clock down in an old-time ACC basketball game. Nate Prosser closing. Gustafsson makes the save and hangs on. And it's going to get nasty now. There's Krug and I believe Zucker were involved. No, I'm sorry, it's Ryan Carter.
Randall trying to get in there too.
And Ryan Carter goes 6'1" and 205. And Randall saying if you want to drop, I'm willing. And how about picking on somebody your own side?
Yeah, that's one of those conversations where if you're the Bruin, you're saying, hey, you've had all night.
Yeah.
Where you been all night?
Why now?
Yeah. Now there's your shot, there's Carter, and he takes a chop at Gustafsson, and Krug says, hey, knock it off. And then Carter feeling, well, I got the advantage here because Torrey Krug not very big.
Colin Miller there.
Yeah. Randall and Miller getting right in. And, that brings teams together. The performance the Bruins have had tonight, it's a good one-game response to the challenge that was there at the beginning of the evening.
Yep, there is your response. Player to bank on, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? A $21 bill?
Well, Louis Eriksson just, we use the phrase putting on a clinic tonight in terms of puck protection, decision-making, making plays within that whole concept of protecting the puck And then his ability offensively, he's stealth, Jack. He just appears. He knows where to be. He thinks it. He knows how to get in and around the net. He's got a real good stick. When he came to Boston, he's got a real good stick, and you weren't sure exactly what that meant. And he doesn't wow you with speed, and he doesn't wow you with flashy goals. What he wows you with is his hockey IQ and his ability to be productive, and his three-zone play when he's on top of his game.
It's one of the interesting dynamics of team sports that so often, if you observe closely, you can tell something about an athlete's personality by the way they play and the way they interact and make other players better around them. Louis Eriksson's a quiet man. He's a quiet player, but he's also a really smart man and a thoughtful man. And even though he's not going to win a whole lot of races, he is an excellent player, and that has been on full display tonight. Gustafsson punches the puck out. They're going to play 4-on-4 the rest of the way. Chara, well, it's 5-on-4 because they pulled Dubnyk.
Yeah, kill this power play, too. Help those numbers.
Koivu over the line in the final 10 seconds. Koivu, the long shot from Spurgeon goes wide. Zucker is caved in the corner, reaching for his left leg. So concern for Minnesota Wild fans. Zucker is one of the fastest players in the league, and it doesn't look good. But this game has come to an end, and an important win for the Boston Bruins. This is terrible to see Zucker go down like this, because he is a very talented player and uses his speed in such dynamic ways.
Well, he's been in the crosshairs of a couple Bruin players tonight, Jack, and and you don't like to see this at this point in the game. Oh, that's not much there. I mean, that's my reaction initially. It just looks like a love tap there by Bolesky. Maybe just gets him in a really bad spot. I mean, that's the kind of slash everybody gets almost every shift. But he's obviously in some pain because he's still on the ice, and certainly didn't look like there was any malice intent from Bolesky. I know Chara had him in his crosshairs. They had quite an exchange on a couple of occasions tonight. But big picture, Bruins game. I thought Bolesky brought it tonight. Marchand brought it tonight. Obviously, Louis Eriksson, the #1 star of this hockey game, Krejci with his playmaking. Tough break for Vetrano with the injury. But everybody had their fingerprints on this. The effort by Chara, he was much better than he was against San Jose. So just in general, and Gustafsson continues to do the job as the other goaltender along with Tuukka Rask.
Just the third win for the Bruins in this building as Zucker is off and being helped off, but not putting any weight on the leg that Bolesky took a swat at. So we will take a break, and Dale will have the happy wrap-up for you. 4-2 the final, the Bruins over the Minnesota Wild.